My name is Perris Jones, and I'm from Jacksonville, Florida.
My name is Azaria and I'm from Miami, Florida.
I chose this topic because I wanted to see another side of the spectrum. Growing up in a mainly Democratic household, I wanted to see what it was like for those African Americans that grow up as Republicans or affiliate with a Republican Party.
Before this project, I knew nothing about Black Republicans. No one in my family's a Republican. I knew nothing about them. But after filming this, I was able to get an understanding of what they stood for.
And I know what you're thinking, no, I am not a Republican.
I hope that you all enjoyed. We worked really hard, and I hope that you all are able to take something from this piece once you leave.
So I hope everyone enjoys this narrative feature, and I hope everyone comes to it with an open mind and are able to change their perceptions maybe of African Americans affiliated with the Republican Party.
We've been elected Democrats for so long, why not try something different?
My entire family, they've been Democrats, so I was the first Republican.
Even white folk look and say, you're a Republican. I don't walk around saying, ladies and gentlemen, I am a Black Republican. You need to respect that. That's not really how it unfolds, but I do get the raised eyebrow, I do get the question, but it's kind of like, well, if you have reservations or concerns about why I'm affiliated, identified with this party, ask me why.
When they do discover that I'm a Republican, it's a shock. Once the shock wears off, it's followed by a barrage of derogatory and defamatory comments.
I was in the library, I still remember it to this day at Florida Coastal, and some classmates called me the Black Republican. You know, it wasn't, hey Chelsea, how are you doing? I hear you're a Black Republican. It was, hey Black Republican. And it was one of those moments, it was actually one of those defining moments because I realized that even though I can respect somebody who's an African American and is a Democrat, not all Black Democrats are going to respect me and my beliefs and my opinion. And so I had to develop some tough skin.
Black Republicans, who are they? How are they perceived? And why are they seen as an enigma within the African American community?
You know, like officially came out as a Republican, it was when I was running for office in Jacksonville. I was running for Soil and Water. It's a local seat there about natural resource conservation, something I was very passionate about because I just come back from Belgium studying the global water crisis. And I shared with some family that I was a Republican, and they shared that they would be unable to vote for me, and I respected their opinion.
Many have associated Black Republicans as those that are monetarily better off or in higher positions in the social ladder. But is that an accurate statement?
The Black Republicans that are featured are the very accomplished. Ben Carson was a world-class neurosurgeon, Alan West, all these guys, and there's a feeling that where we're going to prop up to say, look, there's diversity in our party. It's kind of like we're going to get a Black person who can say what we really think about Black people and filter through them so it won't be offensive. That's how they're presented, and that's really not, it's a gross mischaracterization of the average person, handful of the 10% that identify with this party.
Chelsea Henry says, however, that not every Black Republican comes from privilege, and sometimes people just have different beliefs.
And you know, there was a time early in my childhood where my mother received government assistance. And you know, it's not something I'm ashamed of, it's something I'm proud of because my mother realized that she needed assistance. She wanted to ensure that she and I had food. She wanted to ensure we had a roof over our head. But my mom remains my hero because instead of staying on government assistance, when she had the opportunity to get a job, she went and got a job, even after having one of my younger siblings. And so, you know, when I look at the gamut of opportunities and experiences I've had in my life, for me it makes sense to be a conservative because that's who I am.
The biggest differences in political parties are the issues. Social and economical issues seem to be the most significant premise when it comes to how some African Americans decide to vote.
I've gotten backlash for standing up, and yet what's important for me is that I'm a Republican because I believe in Republican values, and again, they align with my personal values. And so the way that people see me, it varies. Some people commend me for standing up for my beliefs and what I believe in, and being a person on the other side, Others just cannot seem to grasp the fact that it's okay for just because two black people to not agree on a political party, that we still can be friends and we still can communicate.
When it comes to social issues like abortion, when it comes to issues like public aid, social welfare, we stand to disagree on those issues, and not very much so. I mean, there are fundamental beliefs that we just don't see eye to eye on. I believe in certain public, aid, but to a certain extent.
A lot of people, by default, by geography, or by limited ideology, just had an allegiance to a party whose history was very, very obstructive as far as African Americans' ability to fully integrate into this democracy, as it is so often called. So once I began to explore its history and evaluate some things, and even with my personal beliefs, a lot of what the party was promoting was incongruent with what I held to be dear and important, and I made some decisions to change them.
Being that most African Americans share similar values and customs, what caused the shift in political affiliation within the black community? Especially since going back to slavery, the Republican Party was the party who freed the slaves.
Lincoln is often promoted as the great emancipator, but when you study history and study what his personal beliefs were concerning blacks, emancipation was more of a political move, actually a military move, and it was done to preserve the Union. Going forward, a lot of the things that contributed to us collectively not being able to amass wealth, fully integrate, had to do with the Democratic Party.
With 4 million people now freed after the Civil War, the Republican Party served as the political party for blacks in America during the Reconstruction period.
During Reconstruction, all of the opportunities politically, economically, and socially afforded blacks in this country came through a Republican-dominated Congress. Overwhelmingly, black folk were Republicans. The first lieutenant governor, the first senator, the first congressman, the first police chief, postmaster general, all these came through the conduit of the party. But then you had a party, the Confederacy, whatever you want to call it. You had black codes, you had Jim Crow, you had the Ku Klux Klan, the militant branch of the Democratic Party.
But what exactly caused a significant shift from a group that was freed by the Republican Party? It's simple: FDR.
FDR's New Deal gave a lot of black folk an opportunity to rise up.
Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal and other social programs benefited blacks after the Great Depression. FDR was a Democrat that had 71% of the black vote.
Blacks that were born in the earliest part of the 20th century, around the time the 13th and 14th Amendment were brought into play by Republicans, that was seen as the party that promoted the interests of black folk. There's been a dramatic shift, first with FDR, and definitely with Lyndon Baines Johnson. And I just can't really believe that that party now is user-friendly for us going forward, because Lyndon Johnson had the largest voter turnout. 94% of black people voted for him during his second term. And in most part because he pushed in the Civil Rights Act.
It's ironic that the president with the highest percentage of the black vote ever once opposed the Civil Rights Act.
Lyndon B. Johnson opposed all civil rights legislation up to the time that he was president. Did he have a change of heart? Historically, the body of work that the Democratic Party has shown in the oppressive agenda towards black folk gave me more than pause. I was like, boy, there's no way I could be associated with this. No, sorry.
Since Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act in 1965, no Republican candidate has received more than 15% of the black vote. Given these numbers, how can the Republican Party shift back to being the political party for African Americans?
Continue to tell the truth. As more and more of the black voters actually hear what I'm saying, they recognize that we're talking about things that will lift people out of a dependent situation and allow them to become part of the fabric of America versus things that keep people satisfied in a dependent position.
I really wish that I had a systemic answer.
So when I think about the future and what we have to look for in terms of, more blacks being a part of the Republican Party, I think there's more people, there are thousands of people just like me, tens of thousands of people just like me across this country, if not more. Some of them may not have had the boldness to step up, but that's part of why I do what I do, to let them know it's okay to be true to who you are. And as we continue to rise up and to share what it means to be a conservative and that it's okay, I think we'll continue to see a change.
Perhaps the black Republican is someone who is misunderstood. Who are they? What makes them different? What happened in their life to make them have different political views than the 90% of other African American voters? But the real question is, has anyone asked them why?
So you have to ask me what I believe, and that's what people need to be educated on. Stop assuming, because what you might do is cut off your blessing, cut off the thing that was meant to bring you out of your certain condition just because it's under the Republican Party.
I'm a son of the South. I'm the son of a Pentecostal deacon, a mother who's a professor at an HBCU, a husband of a wife who's an administrator locally. My daughter is a senior at FAMU. My other daughter attends school here. I am deeply rooted in this community. As I said before, I was born on the campus of Florida A&M University, but what people don't seem to understand is all of that does not change the fact that I identify with, associate with the Republican Party.
For me, when people ask, when did you become a Republican? I say I've always been a Republican, because when I look at my personal platform, values, beliefs, they're conservative Republican beliefs. And I was the first Republican in my family over the past 6 years of being involved. My mom's now a Republican, and it really just comes from the way that she raised me. And so those principles, those conservative principles, played an important role for me to be able to get from the urban core community I grew up in, where my mother had me when I was 16, to where I am now today working at the Capitol.
And for Theo, he just wants it known that he's no different from anyone else. It's a matter of different ideologies and beliefs.
I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a college graduate, I have an engineering background, I'm a former business owner. I am the consummate American dream, if you will. I just cringe when we are finding more and more ways to categorize, compartmentalize people versus just saying, brother, you have a different political philosophy than I do.
I came down to Florida to attend Florida A&M University. I joined the military. I serve currently in the Florida Army National Guard. I'm a father. I'm a soon-to-be husband. I'm a brother. I'm an uncle. I'm a friend. I'm an all-around individual, but most importantly, more than all that, I'm a servant of God.
I'm an attorney. I went to Florida Coastal School of Law in Jacksonville. I'm a policy advisor. I'm a political commentator. I'm a conservative columnist. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I'm a prayer warrior. I align again with this party because it aligns with my personal values. It's not for political expediency. It's not a fashion trend. This is who I am. I am a Republican.
I'm not ultra conservative. I'm not super liberal, but I have ideations that are consistent and more congruent with this party. But I'm not an alien. I'm not strange. My heart beats at about 60 beats a minute. I take breaths in and out, and I engage in my community. I'm active in my community. I'm active in my church. And I love my people, even if I am with a party that is seen as not being that.
That's their side of the story. But has the elephant left the room?